Good morning and welcome to What's New with Mike and Jeff. Your Saturday morning hobby hangout coming to you live via the interwebs. I'm your host, Mike. Here with me is Jeff.
Hello.
What's happening?
Not much, but what's up, you?
Oh, it is. It rained a little last night over here in the west side of the valley, so that was quite nice. Nothing beats the smell of fresh rain when it hits the ground. So yay, I like the rain. Cool. It's going to be a cool day the next couple days, so that we get a little bit of a reprieve from the death spiral that will be Arizona summer. So we're kind of excited about that. And yeah, that's about it.
As God places his magnifying glass over the state of Arizona for the summer. Let's burn some
man. Baby, burn.
We just got out of a crap ton of rain.
Yeah.
Yesterday was a good day, but today is supposed to get into the low 80s. A little cloud cover, but not bad. So
sweet.
I've got all the windows in the apartment open and getting some fresh air in here. So
gotta love that. Yeah. Two smells I like: the smell of fresh rain and the smell of fresh cut grass.
Oh yeah. Well, I have that whenever they get around to cutting the grass. So.
Well, yeah, a little bit different in your neck of the woods with grass. I'm sure you probably have a lot more of it.
Yeah, I used to mow a lawn, but now I rent an apartment and let someone else do it, which, by the way, just gets better and better. Every time I go, I don't have to deal with that.
I still cut my bushes. I might actually have to do that today.
Yeah, I used to hate mowing lawn out in Arizona because every backyard has grass in it.
Yeah. Well, as long as if you don't have allergies, you're doing a lot better.
Yeah.
If you have allergies, kiss it goodbye. So what have you been up to?
Painting a lot. And I've got a couple of projects I'm working on. I've got, not only do I have the pictures from the Discord channel, Discord group, I've also got pictures from the Battle to End Alzheimer's, which happened in Abbott, Grace, Maryland, which is about a 15-mile drive for me. Right. So I got some pictures there, but they one of the things I took some pictures of, not a whole lot, is they have a painting competition called the Purple Palette. So I got some pictures of the entries, not all the entries because I was there on Saturday, but more entries came in later that day and on Sunday. And so I got some pictures of that to show today. But it's a great little event, and I got to fanboy out and hang out with Joe from War Games Live and got a picture with him, and that was kind of cool. And so that's
very cool. Well, we'll wait. Good morning, Joe.
Morning, Joe.
To see if our numbers go up, but for some reason I don't think our number count is correct anymore.
Yeah, since we stream to YouTube Outpost and through our own Facebook page, I don't think that number reads accurately on a regular basis, or it has a kind of a time delay.
Good morning, David.
Morning, Joe.
And I noticed that last week because it was fluctuating, showing really low numbers, but I'm like, but more people are commenting than you're showing me numbers for.
Yeah. So I don't think it's very accurate. So.
And yeah, I don't care, but we should wait till we have some more people in the chat. And
yeah, absolutely. So if you're there, sing out. Let us know you're around. So.
There you go. Do the clicks and like stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but I got a couple cool projects in the work, and so I'm also painting, and I'm getting ready to start probably my biggest commission I've done in a long time.
I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
No.
I'm trying not to. Because I don't want snot all over my desk. What's the commission, if you can?
Hey, you don't want snot all over your desk? I have a bottle of snot right here.
What the hell is that?
The guys from Dirty Down.
Okay.
I didn't tell you the story. One of the sentences I never thought I'd say in my life was I was at Adepticon, and I walked up to the booth, and I went, I will take a bottle of your gore.
Good morning, Tim.
And a bottle of your snot.
Gory snot.
Gory snot. I never thought I would ever say those words. That I'll take a bottle of your gore and a bottle of your snot, please. Thank you very much. So, but yeah, so.
Yes, David, you are correct. You cannot trust the statistics from Facebook.
Can't trust anything because right now, all of you guys that are commenting equal 1.
Yeah, apparently. But what does the snot actually do? Is it just
okay? If you have say, there's a lot of guys who use it for they'll do like a Tyranid model and they want to have stuff streaming between the teeth, and kind of a mucusy kind of a thing, or they have a claw, they'll have stuff stringing down, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
And you can put that up and UV. I believe you can UV light it and it'll harden it up pretty quick.
Dang. Fancy pants.
It's not the W. I haven't used it yet. I haven't had a need to, but I'm looking forward to it. So.
Well, when your new space wolves come out, you can do little drools coming down their fangs.
Be nice.
I am.
Wolves don't drool.
They're thirsty for venom.
There's a difference.
So they opened a new Target in Surprise.
Yeah.
And it's one of the big grand Targets, like with the grocery store and all the other stuff. And they had the Warhammer Heroes for Age of Sigmar there.
Oh, fantastic.
And I was like, well, gotta buy them. It's like an impulsey thing, but to see, like, Target does carry some GW products. They have some specific Target releases, like little box game, bookshelf games, like some Space Marine neck run thing. But these are different because these are those blind boxes,
right?
And they have cards in them for, I think it's Warcry and Age of Sigmar.
Yeah,
that you can actually use them for those games, and it's kind of neat. You get the model inside, and then all the cards and stuff are in this cool little envelope, and it's just kind of neat. And I bought a couple of them, just whatever. I was just like trying to, see what they were all about, and I was just like, well, that's pretty cool. Like to see this kind of stuff at Target, it's kind of making. I don't know how they're going to sell, and I don't know if Target's going to continue carrying them. Like, we'll see.
Boils down to how well they move out the door.
Yeah, because Target's really cutthroat when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, if it's taking up space and not moving, they're getting rid of it.
Yeah, but that's kind of true for most businesses.
But you can get these at a discount if you're a regular Target shopper, because you use your Target card and you earn points and all that stuff, and you can actually get GW stuff on a discount.
Sweet. Can't beat that.
So I thought I'd just share, if you happen to be at a Target, look over by they were over by like the baseball cards and like the blind bag Funko Pop type stuff, like just their little pop culture stuff. Take a look. You may be amazed. I would like to see the Space Marine heroes brought over.
They might eventually, yeah.
Yeah, because.
But anyway, what I was trying to say before I was interrupted by your sneeze, and then we got into talking about snot, was I'm getting ready to start probably the biggest commission I've ever done. I'm doing an Emperor's Children army.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's actually fairly big, and also will eventually include a Fulgrim.
Whoa. Well, when you say fairly big, like, how big are you talking? Like, point-wise or model count?
Almost 100 models.
Okay, that's big.
Not counting Fulgrim.
Okay, and Fulgrim.
It's like 4 rhinos and then just a bunch of Emperor's Children stuff. And I've only got right now it's 2 large UPS boxes or USPS boxes.
Okay.
And I still haven't got all the stuff yet because there was just some stuff released last week that he ordered that he's having sent to me directly.
Sweet. Are you excited? Are you excited?
I am, actually. I've never done an Emperor's Children army before. So
what color are they?
A lot of pink.
A lot of pink. Okay.
A lot of pink.
Horse Heresy or 40K?
40K.
Okay. I'm just.
Yeah.
David, yes, there is a new one. It's not opening tonight at 5 o'clock. Well, I guess it'd be opening. They're doing a preview night tonight. 5 night. And then May 1st, I think, is their official grand opening day.
Cool.
Wait, and Andy is doing a grand opening today in Tullison. Okay. Oh yeah, Andy.
A soft. Oh yeah, but Andy's. He's got his big gigantic
hobby
warehouse store facility or something. Yeah. Oh, good. It's so nice to see him doing what he's doing because when we stopped in there when he was just in that really tiny shop,
Well, when we were going there, it was just a single pad.
Yeah, it was just a tiny little shop. Yeah, it was real small.
Then he took over the next pad and expanded, built like this big little open space for painting, like people to hang out and stuff. But he had like a little warehouse in there. Now it's like this. He's got a actual warehouse
Sure.
it's going to be a superstore.
Yeah.
I will eventually make my way down that way. I don't know if he's going to close his existing store or not, though.
I haven't heard.
Well, yeah, I don't think he's made anything. I think it would be if he can afford it and he has someone to run the second store, because Andy still runs his store day to day.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't, like he's still in the trenches doing everything, but he
Yeah,
does have people that watch the store. So it would be oh, he's keeping it open. Very cool.
Yeah.
That way you're kind of attacking both sides, and he can bring, he can just kind of stock his own store. So he's really cutting out the middleman.
Yeah. And I also think he just enjoys interacting with his customer base.
Yeah. I haven't seen any videos from him. I haven't watched a lot of his videos lately, but
I haven't seen any pop up. But again, I follow him, but I don't follow him that closely.
Yeah.
David's
going to start working for him.
Whoa. Look
Doing
at that.
what, David? Like, don't you already have 15 jobs?
Yeah. Last count, that was where I was at.
You're gonna get a 16th job?
He's a workhorse, man.
Oh, well, that's awesome.
I don't follow Andy very closely because it angers me.
It angers you?
Yeah, because he's there and I'm here.
You know what? That is the number one comment when I read comments about his shop is you guys are so lucky to have a shop like that in your community. Like that's like the big weekends in the store. Very good, Dave. Which store? Are you going to do the superstore or are you going to do the little store? Because if you're working weekends in the store, I may just have to go be the disruptive customer for you.
Well, I'm going to put a halt to that if he's not able to come to our show anymore.
Oh, yeah. Hey, you got some minutes, David.
That's your number one job.
Yeah, for Saturdays.
Showing up here on Saturdays.
I
don't want to hear this. I have to be at Andy's. I can't watch your show no more. I'll be coming out there.
Well, he can watch. There's this thing called a cell phone and earbuds. So bring it on. No, David, congratulations. That's actually kind of cool. Like I remember working at IOG when it was just fun. Like it was just fun money because I wasn't like it was just a day off job, and it was different than going to my regular job.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, of many reasons why I worked at a shop here in this area for a week because it wasn't fun in any way, shape, or form. And,
well, that was for different reasons. It wasn't fun.
I'm not going to name the name, but it's just like it was just I was like no.
But I remember Thursdays were my day. I'd get to the shop early, clean up around the shop. I'd have everything done before it opens. And then when it opened, I could just hang out and talk to people about gaming and sell stuff. And, Thursdays weren't like super busy days. They were kind of mellow days, but it was always good.
If it was
that's the exact reason. Very good, David.
My fondest memories are of my work life.
Right.
Is when I was at Waterloo North and I would come in, I lived across the street. And Timmy would come in on Thursday to help put away the GW order. And guys, that was just when it was the most fun. I mean, I still ran it like a business, but I did my inventories and stuff before anybody got there and had my orders done. And then I could just hang out and enjoy the store.
Well, and IOG used to be that way too. Like on Fridays when IOG was the single pad,
right?
When the orders came in, because it was a little bit different when it was the single pad because all the gaming tables were in the middle of the shop. Well, all the boxes took up the tables. So everybody pitched in and helped open up all the boxes, put all the product out, like the whole shop, because that meant it freed up the tables so that everybody could play games. So it was kind of like a built-in pressure point for the shop. Like Darren had a built-in workforce. It's like, you guys want to play? Help me put the stuff away.
Yeah.
So David also wants to learn about the hobby business. Plus,
and he says that AI is coming for his main job.
Yeah. You're smart, dude. You're looking ahead because AI is going to cause issues. I don't know exactly how far it's going to go, but it is going to cause issues for tech jobs.
Well, here's the thing to keep in mind, David. My original career choice was law enforcement and investigative work, and I got a job at a hobby shop to support my hobbies, just so I had extra cash to buy minis.
Yeah.
That was in 1986, 87 when I started. Actually, 87 when I started working in hobby shops. And my full-time job was an investigator. After having left law enforcement proper, I went into investigative work. Less than 10 years after that, I was working for Games Workshop.
Yeah. It all starts someplace.
And that one, two things, going to work for that hobby shop and then me buying the first edition Rogue Trader book in 87.
There you go.
Put me on a path that led me to Arizona, to work in the shops all across Arizona, build up a really nice customer following, make a lot of really great friends. To working at Games Workshop and working my way up to director of sales there, and then general manager of Battlefront US. So that's just be careful when you put your feet down on a path where it might take you.
Well, and also David's knowledge of computers and all that
Yeah.
really help Andy out with setting up website, just helping out with the technology on his end.
No, I don't mind. I don't mind it either, but it will surprise you. You make a little decision. I'm going to buy this book, and I'm going to work in a hobby shop to cover painting my minis. And the next thing you know, you're going, oh look,
I'm general manager of Battlefront sales.
Look where I'm at.
Yeah.
So
It happened to me. Like I started working in animal welfare, cleaning kennels over at the Arizona Humane Society, and worked all the way up to the executive director of the Yavapai Humane Society, and now I'm an animal guy. You can work your way up. It's just like anything else. Nothing is guaranteed to you. Nothing will be given to you. But if you put the effort in, you stick with it, you can make something of it.
But the current can sweep you away.
Oh, God, with our hobby?
Oh, yeah.
So quickly.
Yeah.
Like good people get swiped up real quick.
Yeah. And I'm actually excited for you, David. That sounds like a lot of fun. So, and Andy seems to be a great guy to work with.
Yeah. So let us know where you end up when you start there so that we can come torment you. Anyways, because that's always fun.
We can come back out, and when I come out to visit, we can go torment him. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
You remember John that managed the Warhammer store out in your area?
Yeah.
I don't think he's there anymore.
No, he left a while ago. I think he left.
I just found out because I just saw a post from the new guy running it.
I thought you knew.
No.
Oh yeah, he left. He went back to. I thought you told me.
No.
Oh. Yeah,
I haven't spoken to him in a long time.
Yeah, he left, and a new guy opened up the shop. Don't know who he is. I'm neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So best. It's weird how GW. I don't. GW's business models for running shops is just weird to me, but I don't. It's not my place. They're $1 billion a year company, so if they want to waste money, it's on them.
If it hits and ticks the boxes for what their intention is for the shop, then
David's saying he went back to corporate. Yeah.
Well, corporate GW or just corporate in general?
Wasn't he insurance or something?
Something like that.
Yeah, I forget. Maybe he went back into that. Well, but I could see it. GW, they probably have a top out or a cap out for store managers. And once you reach that point, that's it. Like, in general. Okay. So he just went back to corporate in general. Well, that sucks. But yeah, I saw the post from the new guy. I'm like, all right, cool.
Are you working on anything exciting yourself?
I am. So this upcoming week, I'm in training all week, Monday through Friday. Right. But my training doesn't start till 8:00 in the morning. So that means, I'm still going to get up ungodly early and do my usual stuff.
Right.
But I'm going to get like an extra 2 hours of painting time. I'm going to finish Jason's models this week.
Oh, sweet.
Just the core box set stuff. I still have the resin limited edition Darth Vader Luke Skywalker display thing I got to deal with.
Right.
But this week I'm going. So I finished up a couple more. I've got some that I seal coated, but I didn't take photos for the show because they were kind of wet when I got them done. I forgot to take photos when they dried. So this week I will finish up the rest of his Imperial Assault miniatures. Get those on the table. Unfortunately, next weekend I will not be available for gaming or the show or gaming. I guess both. I guess so next Saturday is one of the kind of last antique crafty
Oh, okay.
things that Andy and I like going to. It's one of the bigger ones, and that's next week. So we got early bird tickets. So we got to leave at like 7 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, I understand that.
So next week, no show. I had a note written down so I wouldn't forget because that's important.
Absolutely.
So, but yeah, that's about it. Just wrapping up Jason's stuff and getting ready for like I want to get this done so I can start my projects, the things I want to work on. I can't believe how long it's taken me to paint all these miniatures, but each one's a character model.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of a double-edged sword because, quite frankly, I find character models more fun to do.
They are,
but they take a little more time.
When it's 50 of them.
Yeah.
Like it's a boatload of them. So like,
I have one word for you: custodes.
Oh yeah, you win.
Yeah.
You win. But yeah, so I'm just like really taking my time doing some edges and blah 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 blah. So
well, let's talk about the battle to end Alzheimer's.
Let's do it.
Yeah, last weekend I went down and spent some time down in Havre de Grace, Maryland, which is just across the Susquehanna River from Elkton. It's about 15 miles, not that far. Went down and hung out with Amos and a couple of his friends. But they have a big charity event for Alzheimer's, and I think this year they generated something around $40,000 to $44,000 for Alzheimer's research.
Oh, very cool.
I took some pics, which I will remind everybody that I am not great taking
but
pics.
You took them, and that we're going to give you credit for taking the pictures.
I did. I did actually take pictures. Ding. So this is the event.
Oh, is this a school gymnasium?
It's a place called the Star Center in Havre de Grace, which is like a mini convention center. Right. But it's mostly sports facilities. It's got basketball courts and all these different facilities in it.
Very nice.
Yeah. So that's just a picture of the overall big group.
I like how they got rugs down for where people are standing.
Well, they're on a gymnasium floor.
Oh, it's just blue.
Yeah, well, it's where the tables are at, I think, just to keep from stuffing up the tables.
Very cool.
Stuffing up the floor. But yeah, nice big event. Or that could be just painted on the floor. I don't know. I didn't get a chance to look at it. I wasn't looking at the floor too much. A lot of great guys, a lot of great armies. I took just some. I tried not to walk around too much because guys are competing. They're actually playing, so it's not like going to your regular game shop. So I didn't want to disturb anybody.
How many points were the games?
Standard 2,000 point armies. Okay. This is just the guy was wrapping up and he's cleaning up his mouth, so I snapped a picture. There's actually more of the entire army.
Very nice.
And like I said, I was just walking around, just kind of checking things out.
I like it.
Another quick army that head was sitting on the table. I got there between rounds, and a lot of guys just let their army sit on the table with their
Death Guard.
Huh?
Is that a Death Guard army?
I believe it is.
Sweet.
And this is a buddy of mine, Brian, who used to work for Battlefront. I've known him for quite a while. So that's his game wrapping up. And that's me and Joe from War Games Live.
Very cool.
I'm always talking about War Games Live. That's Joe. And I didn't realize how tall he was. So, I mean, just I'm 6'1", and so he's a little taller than that.
Well, he's just he's a voice on the streams that you watch.
Well, I've seen him before. We've talked, but I've never until I saw the picture. Wow, man, he really is taller than I thought he was. So, but then they have a thing called the Purple Palette, which is basically just, and these pictures were done very, very quickly.
Papa Nurgle.
But these are all the entries that Amos made into this.
Nice. Papa Nurgle.
Yeah. And there's his, I forget the name of those little things.
Yeah.
So, and then there's his Papa Nurgle.
Love it.
Which is just, I just like the blue. I thought the blue was a nice choice in colors. It's something different.
Yeah, because mostly it's rotted flesh. I love the Necron.
Yeah, there's his Necron.
Very cool.
Very nice stuff. And then here's just some other entries that we came across.
Yeah.
Oh. Yep, kind of fuzzy.
Rattlers.
Rattling snipers.
Yeah. Tyranids, the bug.
Green looks like green gene stealer.
Very cool. It's always nice to look at people's competitive pieces.
Yep.
Oh, who are those? Oh, those are probably Tyranids.
They're Tyranid things. I'm not sure what they are. I don't know enough
Yeah.
of the Tyranids army anymore. I used to be able to name all these guys.
Just need a can of Rage. You're good.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Very nice model there.
Oh, a unit.
Yeah.
Look at I love the banner.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, very nice.
And again, this was on Saturday morning.
Okay.
I left right after the show last week. I headed out. It would have been right around 1, 2 o'clock. Not in the morning. It would have been early afternoon on Saturday. But not everybody had entered their pieces yet. This piece was actually really, really nice.
Love it. So did they have different categories like display, unit?
Yeah, they sure did. And again, it's a pretty small operation.
Sure.
So I didn't really talk to anybody at the show, and I wasn't really there official. I just thought I'd take some pics. And some more models.
Got a little entry code thing going on, so you don't know who's doing what.
Yep. So you can't tell who the owner is.
Right. That's always good.
And it's not. There are models in there from pretty much a lot of different manufacturers.
Yeah, it's not all GW.
Yeah.
It looks like Kingdom Death Monster. Eldar?
Yep.
Old school Eldar, it looks like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, your favorite. Custodes.
Yes.
You want some more Custodes to paint?
I like the base work on this one.
Yeah, with the orange.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Amos, our very own Amos, this is what he won.
Oh, look at that. He won gold in best in standard.
Yeah.
Very nice. Look at Amos rocking it, representing.
And his Tyranid one as well.
Very nice. Amos is rocking it.
Yeah.
Oh my! Wow, this is just amazing.
Yeah,
he cleaned up.
He was pretty unbearable. He and I were always giving each other anytime the show Build Paint played just before this. Jake and Dave were complimenting his models and my models, and we're both like in the chat going, "Oh, he's going to be unbearable tomorrow."
Well, you guys work together, right?
Yeah, and I actually pick him up and he rides to work with me. So
yeah.
So, but that was just a quick little glimpse into the battle to end Alzheimer's.
Well,
it was a nice little weekend trip.
Thank you for taking photos.
I need to get better at it. I'm just it was one of those things that came up because I'd forgotten about it. Because it's usually down in Westminster, which is on the southern side of Maryland, and I wasn't sure.
Well, no.
Yeah, there you go. They're having some kind of charity event next Saturday. So
very cool.
Extra life for Phoenix children. Oh, that's awesome.
We have a exciting announcement coming about what donations can win. Okay, very cool.
Fantastic.
Very cool. What games are you guys playing for Extra Life though, or is it just general? So you're talking it's down in southern part.
It was down in Westminster, Maryland, which is a bit of a hike. It's down around the DC area, which is never fun to navigate driving wise. And then I found out it was like, oh, it's just here in Havre de Grace, which literally is not that far away.
Hop, skip, jump, no traffic.
Yeah, so I just went down, spent the afternoon down there. But I've been trying to get my painting caught up because I knew I had a ton of new commission work headed my way. So I'm trying to get that sorted out as well. So
very cool, very cool.
But Amos, I was really happy for Amos, and his models are gorgeous.
Well, if he jumps on the show, we will congratulate him publicly. So.
But it was a nice little event. And like I said, every year I said every day I'm painting in here. If War Games Live is streaming, I have the stream on because I can't learn the game, but I get a lot of questions answered. Because the chat will ask a question and I'll hear Joe and whoever his other commentator is will answer it, and I go, oh, okay, I'll make a note of that and that kind of thing.
Yeah, and that is a good way. Sometimes watching it played is a good way to learn.
Yeah. Joe's also really fair because you know as well as I do, some tournament players can really turn you off for
Yeah.
competitive play.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, if the guys that are knowledgeable in the game are watching a game being played, they're very quick to point out mistakes, and can get a little salty about it, or a little bit holier than thou about it, right, self-righteous about it. Joe's real quick to remind them that, hey, listen, first of all, and this is an accurate statement. You and I have talked about this. I've never played a game of anything where we didn't, after the game, we're just talking, oh, we may have done that wrong, or man, I got that right. He shuts them down pretty quick if they start, beating up the players, because he goes, they didn't ask me to stream their game. They volunteered to be on my stream.
Right.
So chill.
Joe's mentioning so next weekend for the Extra Life, they'll have Infinity, BattleTech, Halo, Combat Zone, Frostgrave, and an RPG. Magical Kittens Save the Day. Oh, that's awesome.
That sounds fun.
You can donate in game to get things like upgrades and rerolls. Very cool.
Well, thanks, Jay. Just depressed me. Yet another reason why I regret not living in Phoenix. Well, but the heat is the big. They haven't surpassed the summers out there yet. It was like, I don't want to do that anymore.
I watched a video recently about Infinity. I guess they made the game, they streamlined the game a little bit or something, like maybe new rules or something.
I've heard that. I have heard that too, where they're doing some streamlining and stuff like that. But I love Infinity. I love the concept. I love the miniatures. I love the game. The only problem I had with it, if I had to say something negative, was I was more exhausted after one game of Infinity than I ever been in a 40K, because you never stop being engaged in the game. Where a 40K, you do your movement, I'm going to go grab this, I'll be right back. Yeah. Kind of walk away for a bit. But in Infinity, you interact on both sides of the turn.
Yeah, 40K, you may make a few rolls during the opponent's turn for
armor save, stuff like that.
But you're not really, you have no agency during your turn.
Yeah. And plus your movement in your phase has got to be keeping in mind that when you have guys popping line of sight, you get a reaction and that kind of stuff.
And you've got to watch for all that. Like, you got to constantly be watching.
David says 5th edition rules released recently.
Okay, so man, they're really. I remember when Infinity came out. Man, I actually have models from the original release.
I have an entire, from the time I lived there, an Ariadne force that I love some of the models in that. So of course it's got werewolves in it, so why not?
It was just when it came out, the first edition rulebook was a little bit hard to get through because the game was so much different from what we were normally playing.
Right.
I think a lot of us, just in general, it's just a human nature thing. We kind of make those assumptions when we're playing a new game and reading rules, and we kind of, unfortunately, link them to other games that we played, and we kind of make that ruling in our head.
Right.
And I think that's one of the problems that you see with 40K. It's not that people are cheating or they just kind of link things in their mind from previous experiences, and just kind of, that's how they read the rule.
Right.
And even though that's not what the words are saying, people just kind of mix that stuff
up. The other thing is, there at times, depending on what's going on, there can be so many things that should happen that you just skip over one, not even realizing.
Yeah, it's
but I remember I went to, when I was working for Waterloo, I went to a show in Southern California, and they were demoing a new game, and for the life of me, cannot remember what it was. But this was back circa mid '90s.
So Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. And I was running in a demo of a new game, and everything was, well, you do this, like in 40K. Yeah. You do this, like in 40K. And I'm like, are we playing 40K or are we playing your game? Because you're losing me. So
I might as well just go play 40K then.
Yeah.
If you're new,
again, they were the biggest and the best at that point in time, and quite frankly, in many categories, they still are. So.
Well, they are still the big, like GW's models have grown tremendously.
Oh God, yeah.
I just watched one of the big YouTubers. He did a video on the Baneblade and magnetized the hell out of it so that he could make every variant of the Baneblade. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's insane that this model kit makes so many different variants. And he was able to magnetize it in such a way that he can rebuild and reconfigure the model for every variant. So that's pretty impressive model skill building, like models themselves.
David, I knew it was David. I had to check David. Actually, I had a question for him. I'm glad you brought that up. David posted a picture of it, the Ultimate Guide to Warhammer.
Yeah, the Space Marine book.
Yeah, I need to find out where he got that because I need to get a copy of that.
David, where'd you get that book? You posted on the Discord.
He didn't on the and I don't have the picture. I didn't put the picture in the.
It had the big Space Marine dude.
It had Rabute.
Yeah.
Primarch for the Ultramarines.
Yeah, and it was like some flames, and it was kind of bluish.
Yeah. I want to grab that book because if I read the cover correctly, it's basically Amazon. I have to check that out.
There you go.
I have to check that out because I want to.
What exactly is it? Just is it an actual?
I think it says history of Games Workshop of Warhammer.
I thought it was the history of Space
Marine. I'm reading the Ultimate Guide, Warhammer 40,000, the Ultimate Guide. So I'm assuming it's just talking about 40K and either the background or the development or something. But it looked really interesting, and I got to check it out.
Well, David, give us a quick blur so we know what's going on.
Yeah. Put more in your caption.
It was going to be like a history book of 40K. It should have orcs on the cover, damn it.
Yeah, okay. I'm with you on that, partner. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Orcs are 40K. When you say 40K, when you say GW, people go to orcs.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Every time. Every single time.
Yeah. You're not buying what I'm selling.
I gotta call Andy. Make sure she checks you're taking your med.
That's
I'm going to have to pick that book up, but I didn't put it in picks today because it was just a book, and it didn't really. I went back to it after I did the picks, and so I was like, I need to talk to David where he got that book. So Amazon, I got to check it out.
It should be an issue. We're just waiting for him to respond and let you know exactly. There he goes. History of the game, the company, and the hobby.
That's what I was hoping for because we talked last week and I was going through my Rogue Trader book.
We were nostalgia-ing.
Yeah, we were, but I was reading all the names in giving credit in that book, and then I think Jake and I are going to seriously talk about running a Rogue Trader event at Adepticon next year.
And it does have a lot of orcs,
but it's not on the cover.
It's an orc.
You said your words were. If it was about 40K, it would have orcs on the cover.
However, I will open up the book to a page with the orcs, and then I'll just bend the book backwards and say, "This is the book."
And that will be normal for you because you always have to modify everything to fit what you need it to do. That's fine. I would have gone a different way. I would have color copied that page and then just laminated it to the front.
I am just going to cut the orc's head out and just glue it over.
That would be awesome. I did that once to a guy that was a massive historical guy that played American Civil War. And I hope everybody here's heard of Essex and Dixon models. They were absolutely gorgeous 15s and 28 mils or 25 mils at the time. And I made him a present where I took the Dixon 25 millimeter Ulysses S. Grant.
Okay.
And he was just standing there in a very dignified position holding a cigar. I lobbed his head off, cut his hands off, put big gigantic orc hands and an orc head, and then put his cap on top of the orc and called him Ulysses S. Orc. He didn't. I thought it was a funny joke. He didn't really take it that way.
Yeah, sometimes what we find funny, the people that receive it don't find it.
He was as into American Civil War miniature gaming as we are in 40K or any other game.
Yeah.
And he didn't play. And one of the things that prompted it was constantly giving me a hard time because I was a sci-fi fantasy miniature, and true miniature gamers play historicals. That was his sideline. And I played historicals. I played DBR, DBM. I played Johnny Reb. I played those games too. But I just thought, I'm just going to do this. And I gave it to him. I wish I hadn't because I think it just ended up in the trash. But it was actually pretty cool. So,
but that is the roots of the hobby it is historical gaming. Like,
absolutely.
Miniature gaming, the roots are historical all the way. Sci-fi fantasy came way after the fact.
Miniature war gaming has been around since the time of the pharaohs, from my understanding. They've been around forever. That's one of my favorite scenes in The Patriot is when his son's sitting there painting miniatures.
or
You know,
or when he's melting them down
he's
to
melting the miniatures down for for a shot for his
it just takes me back to the 80s when we were told not to lick our miniatures.
yeah, back in the day. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that was kind of hilarious. But yeah, so I'm going to read that book because, like I said, I have been very nostalgic, and I'm hoping because Jake actually called me after the show last week and said, "Hey, we could probably get that done at Adepticon." So I'm going to keep poking him and see if we can actually have that event in like Saturday evening. So,
but what are you guys going? So, hey,
caveman miniature games. What are you guys going to do? Is that what you're asking?
why do you think cavemen drew on the walls? They were just drawing out their world map. Those were the encounters. That's it was all caveman. What are you going to do for miniatures? Are you guys going to?
We can 40K miniatures, even though they've got a lot of new troop types. They haven't really. I mean, they're still the same thing: Space Marine, Eldar, Orcs. Just use regular miniatures. Don't have to. I don't want to throw back and use old miniatures because that would limit the number of people that could actually participate.
We can
just use regular miniatures.
We could easily just use modern day miniatures.
Yeah.
And still play the game.
I just want to use what I want to do, what I talked to Jake about, and we have again. This is literally two guys have said, "Hey, we can make that happen." I said, "That'd be very cool. Let's see it happen." That's where we're at. So no one count on it or anything else. I'm just seeing how far I can take this and how far I can run with this ball. And which is kind of funny, me running with the ball. I'd be like 5 feet and then I'd fall over dead. We can use the same models. What I want to do is one of the things I used to love about 40K. We could have a game, you and I across the table, but we could do a Death World scenario where not only are we fighting each other, but we're fighting the environment around us. It's like Arizona and in Australia in day-to-day life. You have your normal job, but you got to fight the monsters to get to where you want to go.
Well, one of the things that's cool about that is you're adding that third opponent, but it's not an actual person. It's the board itself.
Right.
Which just makes everything so, oh my God, I gotta get out of your line of sight. I'm gonna go over here and duck over by these whatever. Yeah. And now they're killing me.
Yeah, and then something runs out of that cover and rips your arm off and starts beating you with it.
It just adds that total random it adds that RPG element back into, because I don't think they made models for all that stuff.
No, they did actually. I own a few. They had a Cathalian Cudbear. They had some of the other creatures. Not all of them, some of them, but that was the other beauty about it was you could go buy them. I mean, Grenadier and Ralpartha had plenty of D&D monsters that could substitute. I'm thinking we get guys just do 500 points.
Okay. And
we do like 4 guys to a table. Or even if it's just 4 of us at one table, I just want to go back and just play. And everybody's got all the system is horrible, this, that, and the other. It's not about that. It's not that I think the Rogue Trader edition was the best edition of 40K ever. It's just that's where my hobby journey at Games Workshop started, right? With that, and I just thought it would just be kind of fun. It'd just be a good
I think it would be, and the book is available for people to buy. So that you could, I don't know if GW, I don't think they're still printing Rogue Trader.
You can probably still find some somewhere. And quite frankly, you can find the rules pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I just thought it would be fun. But we can use modern models. You don't have to go out and invest. I mean, I'm sure if this thing does get some legs and start, becoming more seriously like it's really going to happen, and we're going to have guys who are going to show up and go, look, like, for example, I'm going to show up at 500 points of original squats. I've got them. They're coming. Right. So I'm going to have squats on trikes with a living ancestor. And, I got 4 little exo armor Fabergé egg dwarf guys coming up. Because I've got that army list as well in my chapter approved book. So that's what I'm talking about. Just it's not a serious event. It's not me promoting that, hey, let's go back to playing the original 40. I just think it would be fun to go back to that.
Just like Tim said, it's just a throwback game.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah.
And I honestly think there'd be a lot of people who just show up to kind of come over and say, look at this. Look at these Muppets. They're playing original 40K. But I thought it would be cool.
But Rogue Trader was a different game. It wasn't a miniatures.
It was a miniature / almost RPG.
Yeah, you built your characters and you could kind of level them up. I don't want to say level them up, but you could improve them.
You could spend money to up their stats across. I remember the first time I taught a guy to play in Arizona, and I taught him to play on the counters of Hobby Bench Paradise Valley Mall.
Yeah.
And then I invited him over to my house on a Saturday. And I said, just here are the rules. I showed him how to create an army. I said, just build one unit, 500 points, come over to my house, and we'll just play. And he did what every guy did back in the day. He read, I can up my stats. And he shows up with one guy, and he had upped all of his stats across the board to 10. and I showed up with a 5-man squad, and I just shot him at range, and he didn't stand a chance. And it's like yeah, you can't up your stats to 10. That doesn't make you invincible.
No,
but it was just a fun game to play. And I think Death World, I used to love the Death World scenarios because, like I said, you go for cover and then something runs out that cover, rips your arm off, and starts beating you with it, or you're in some kind of a toxic pool.
Yeah, that's the RPG element.
Yeah, and yeah, absolutely. And you could personalize the characters, and they promoted, because they were small, they didn't have all the resources they have now. They promoted scratch building your own stuff. Right. They promoted all these, and conversions were like, hey, if we don't make a model, you can't find a model, just make it. Right. And that's kind of what I'm looking for.
So. Victor chimes in. Rogue Trader was simple and fun. Push models and roll dice. No command points or detachments, nor needing 5 books opened up while you're playing. Very good.
He also called it Rogue Trader with Space Chainmail.
Which, okay, I'll accept that.
Yeah.
D&D wasn't really an RPG. It was just an alternative version of a fantasy miniatures game. That's kind of a great event for that. I worked with Dave a long time ago with Napoleon in Egypt using my rules. Was off thing, 8 of us, and think it was just small group people having fun.
That's it. That's all it's about.
Well, that might be exciting. I'll have to I'll have to dust off my book and take a peruse through it. Do the Realms of Chaos attach into Rogue Trader?
Yeah, I mean, they were that same era.
Chaos side, right?
Yeah, they were that same era, yeah.
Yeah, well, I know Rogue Trader was primarily Space Marines and stuff like that.
Mostly Space Marines and Orcs. That was because that's where it all started. Because that was your first battle in that game was the Battle of the Farm, where you basically had a unit of Crimson Fists fighting a bunch of Orcs.
Right.
That was the first start of battle. And then so there's rules for Orcs, but Chapter Proof's got a bunch of stuff where that expands on that. I couldn't go.
Good morning, David.
I took the yawn. He goes, yawn, good morning, all. I took that initiative that he was finding our conversation boring. And then I read the rest of it. Oh, he's just a yawn. I just woke up. Here I am. I don't think he actually does find our conversation boring.
And let me just interrupt since everyone's here. No show next week.
Yes, no show next week because somebody's got to go do some, antiquing.
Husbandly things. Anyway, going back to Rogue Trader.
Yeah, so I think that's how it would be cool. Yeah. Like I said, I've got 2 projects right now. I've got my GW versus Army Painter project that I'm working on. I think it's going to be fun, which I'll talk about when we do the actual photo Discord pics.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do a 500-point squat Rogue Trader list to just kind of I'm going to push this little snowball down the hill and see how big that snowball will get. And hopefully we'll have something at Adepticon next year.
Well, let's do something let's get a little bit more creative with it. Yeah. I've lifted my arms up because when I put them under the squeak that makes that weird squeaky noise, so I put them.
I went out and bought a small can of WD-40. Can you hear my chair?
Yeah.
I forgot to use it. Like I got this coat the underneath side of my chair. So.
Yes, you are so right, David. Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah.
More models for me, and you're out because we're going to be in North Scottsdale, which means 2 things. She gets to go crafting, antiquing, and then we get to go eat at YC Mongolian Barbecue, which happens to be in the same strip mall as Old World Gaming. So I'll get to go see Luke over there and just say hi and look around at what he has.
Well, I knew when you said you get to go antiquing, I went, okay, because one of the things that I admire about the 2 of you is that you always, when you go, there is some really great restaurant somewhere, and you guys go out and have a really good meal. And then, of course, the fact that you can go to GW or the Luke store. He's no longer GW. We get to go to Luke's store, and that's awesome.
Yeah. Go to Adepticon. Sounds like a fun event. I would join. Now, how do you play? You go by the rule book. You go by Rogue Trader.
Yeah. That's the thing. Again, do not plan on anything yet. Literally, I made the statement last week on the show. Jake made a comment there about Adepticon in the chat, and literally called me at the end of the show and said we can make that happen.
Yeah, because we were chatting after the show, and your phone blew up, and you're like, "Jake's calling me."
Jake's calling me.
Like, why's Jake calling?
So Jake wants to talk to Hank up at Adepticon, and I've met Hank once. I think after I met him once when I was with GW, and I've met him once since GW. But I want to go up and just see if we can actually make this happen.
David, I will try to remember to say hi to Luke for you. I will do my best.
Yeah. But
I'm old and forgetful.
I'm gonna keep kind of pushing. So I'm gonna start my my squat force, this little 500-point squat force, just to get that painted up.
Well, that's why I want to push the envelope. Okay.
Yeah.
You're gonna do a brand new a brand old army.
Yeah. I'm going to do a brand new old army.
Well, is this the army you bought off of Bo?
Yeah.
The one I pointed out to you?
The money of mine that you spent? Yes, that would be the one.
You do a 500-point army of that. I will work on because I'm finishing up Jason's stuff quickly here. My side project that I'll be talking about is a side project, it's still got a lot of work. But I'll start scraping together a little 500-point army of orcs. Not that I'm going to Adepticon. I'm not making any promises. I've got like major trips this year planned.
Yeah, you got a big one coming up. So.
Well, and I haven't announced to anybody else about next year what's going on. So yeah, I think but I'll be fun because we could do a little painting project.
Yeah.
We don't have a painting. We haven't done any
we haven't done a whole big painting project
in
a long time.
The reason I think it would be fun is it would push you and motivate you to fix what you need to fix at the house so that we can start painting on camera.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So we can create a timeline.
Yeah,
because you got a big commission right now, so you got some priorities.
Well, I've gotten into the habit. Like yesterday, I will paint when I'm not at Battlefront. I usually when I go for Battlefront, I paint for like 3 or 4 hours after I get home, and then I've been on the days I'm not there, including Sundays, I will paint about 8 hours. But then after that 8 hours, I will then switch over to work on my own, tinker around my own stuff.
All right.
So I still get stuff done, and like I said, I've got my Army Painter versus GW project that I'm working on that I think is going to be fun. Okay. And then I'll start writing, and I'll dig out my chapter proof book that's got all the squad army stuff in it, and I'll write my little list for that because I want to do a squad list and a Marine list. So.
Yeah, I don't have the chapter approved supplement that they put out.
Well, I can anything you need. I can try to get you the whatever you need.
Orcs are in the main book, and I'm not going to build a heavy.
Yeah,
I am going to build the typical orc army. I'm going to put as many guys on the table as I physically can at the 500-point level with shooters and pistols and charge across the table in a glorious battle of death and doom of shooting the hell out of whatever comes in the way.
A lot of DACA. Yeah.
The goofier the better. Oh, was the truck the old school truck?
The battle wagon?
The battle wagon? Was that in Rogue?
I don't know. I haven't got that far yet. I haven't actually looked at the list. I've just been reading like the Death World stuff and some of the scenarios. I haven't read the actual list yet. So
you do know I still have one of those orc trucks in the box, like the stupid, goofy
little battle. Yeah, that's awesome.
The rule used to be you could take as many models as you could pile on the truck. I just don't know if it was in Rogue Trader.
No, it wasn't. That came, I think, in 2nd or 3rd edition, where when you moved it, any that fell off,
they took a damage.
They took a hit. Yeah.
Well, let's we'll continue the conversation. I'll pull out my Rogue Trader book and take a peruse through it. But I do have a lot of old school orcs. Not necessarily the new orcs, but I have like the old Black Reach orcs. So I guess that would be like the midpoint.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, orcs haven't changed much. They're still just these big green brutes.
Yeah.
You know, they have a lot of, but it all boils down to big green brutes. So,
I will do a space elf. I have the original metal war walker and jet bikes. Oh, dude. There you go. So yeah, maybe we'll do something like that. Maybe we'll do like a little weekend project. And I'm not trying to put pressure on you. Um,
No, I don't mind.
The orc trucks were second edition with
Yeah.
yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think
it was second edition.
everything with road
It was a great rule. I love that.
the
That
best.
was a
The
great
best.
rule.
Well, think about it. If it was today with rare earth magnets, how much better? Like I could just put a long metal rod sticking up and just stick them all to.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But no, that's one of the things. I want to see how far I can push this wagon. And it may not get anywhere, but we'll still have fun. We can still do it.
Yeah, I don't mind painting up 500 because here's the thing. At the end of the day, because I'm going to put them on 32 mil bases,
Right.
I paint up 500 points of just regular orcs. I just if it never goes anywhere, I put them in my orc box, and I never converted my 40k orc army to 32 mil bases.
Right.
Everybody's still on 25s because that's what they're supposed to be on. So, but I've never converted my army over.
Yeah.
But I do got a lot of old models. I just don't remember everything that was in Rogue Trader. It's not. Goblin green bases.
Even back when Goblin green bases were a thing, I didn't do Goblin green bases.
Oh my god!
I've always just done the black borders on the base.
But speaking of, so you've mentioned it 3 times now. You have a GW versus Army Painter project.
Yeah. Let's. I put it in the pictures that I want to show that are at the end of the Discord pics. Let's do that real quick.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Bum, bum, bum.
Still putting Marines on 32 mil adapters. Lots. Yeah.
This is my buddy Greg's.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous work. When I grew up, I want to paint like Greg.
His white is it's like a grayish. It's just
they're a little darker than my wolf spear.
Good morning, Mark. How are you?
Hey, Mark. How you doing, buddy? So this is the last of the infantry he took with him to Sweden.
Do we need to start a GoFundMe so he can?
No, he now has a repulsor.
Oh,
never. He took a repulsor with him, but he hadn't started yet. So that's why he's getting ready. I love the base work on these two.
Yeah,
it's absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I forget I don't know which company he's using, but just the leafy foil.
Those are Gamer Grass.
Those are awesome.
Yeah, they're either Gamer Grass. Now GW does make plastic ones like that. That may be what he's using. That may be the GW plastic ones. But there's what he's finished so far.
If he wasn't in a different time zone, he may join us and tell us what it was.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
It's probably like nighttime where he's at.
Yeah, but this is his revilers. They are absolutely gorgeous. He's been building these guys since forever.
Yeah.
They look great. They're fantastic. Like I said, when I grew up, I went morning, Heron.
Good morning.
When I grew up, I want to be like him.
Yeah, slow and steady. Slow and steady.
Yeah. So I can't wait to see his repulsor.
Yeah.
And then there's some work Joe did.
Cool. I love that dude on the right. I don't know. I'm like
this guy.
Yeah, it's kind of like a very like medieval, like knight stuff, but it's obviously a sci-fi GW model. What I don't know which GW model it is, but it's
I don't either because that's definitely
that's a GW thing.
Yeah, so I don't know what that is. I'm sure Joe will chime in and let us know.
Yeah, it's just very cool.
Yeah, so very cool stuff there.
Just digging it.
More cool stuff.
Yeah. No goblin green on the base rim. Is that you having a bird chirping, or is that me?
You're very, very correct, Mark. You think he would have more done, but he did. What was that, sir?
I hear a bird chirping. Good morning, Rex. I
have my window open. That's coming from my window.
Okay. So Joe's saying it's kill team. What did Mark say? Greg would have more done by now since he's been
building them forever. He's Revilers has been his chapter of choice forever, and he's been working on this army for quite a while. So
Very cool.
yeah, he's slow but steady. So
that's all that matters, man. He's a turtle. Turtle.
This is JP's.
Look at that. Very nice.
Yeah, very cool.
Miniature.
Yeah. I don't think Bretonian.
Gotta love it.
And these are from a buddy of mine that I worked with for a short time at Battlefront. Nate, it's from some Team Yankee Russians.
All right.
Some Soviets.
Cranking them out.
Yep.
Best way to do it. Put them on a popsicle stick and go.
Yep.
And just pop them off.
Some aliens from Tim.
Yeah. Champas. Oh boy, that's a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
Holy crap. Call it an exterminator. It's getting serious up in here.
Yes.
Nice. I do like them. They're
some creepy aliens.
Yeah.
There's the queen.
The queen bee. Love it. Love it, love it, love it.
And some Marines.
Well, someone's got to kill the bugs.
Well, you said call exterminator.
There you go. I know I'm just giving him a hard time. It's been too long since we got to hang out at game day 202.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Oh my God. Is this a bug hunt, sir?
Yeah. Is this a stand-up fight or just another bug hunt?
Yes.
So, yeah.
You know, my favorite game I ever played was Starship Troopers at Adepticon, when the guy allowed us to have a re-roll as long as we could make a movie quote.
Oh God, I've been in a lot of games of that nature.
I love that. That just adds so much more to the game, because you know what happens? As soon as you got to make the movie quote, your mind goes blank of movie quotes. But while it's everybody else's turn and they're coming, like a million of them are thrown through your head. But then when it's your turn, you're like, because you want the perfect quote for the moment.
Yes,
you're in the game. So
I had a similar situation in a role-playing game, on a Rollmaster game, but we were playing the sci-fi version of Rollmaster.
Okay.
And my at the time was my brother-in-law had created an entire universe, and basically, long story short, I was playing an android character that was patterned after John Wayne. And he gave me special perks if I could find a John Wayne quote that fit the appropriate moment in the game. He would give me bonus on my rolls.
Right.
It was actually kind of cool. So,
but you have to have the perfect quote. You know, for starters,
it can't just be a generic John Wayne quote. It's got to fit the scenario that character was in at that point in time.
Now, for Starship Troopers, it's pretty cool because you could always just say, "What do you want to do? Live forever?" You know, like you've got some really basic ones, but everybody does that one. You got to kind of get that good one. So
yeah, my go-to one whenever I was getting ready to go into combat was from True Grit. Fill your hands, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, and Heron got it perfect. It's like then later you're like, why didn't I do that one?
Yeah, why did I remember that one? Yeah,
it's just life.
Right. Yeah, I don't think the exterminators really know how to exterminate because they're in trouble.
Yeah, they're gonna get violated.
Yeah,
in so many different ways.
Hello, surprise!
Hey, I'm here for you.
Yeah, I like that. That little pose was kind of cool too.
He's gonna come tickle him. That's all he's gonna
do. Tickle him. Yeah, tickle. All right. And this is a squad of Deathwing Marines I did.
All right.
And they'll be. I'm actually got them all down to where I'm just doing the detail work and the bases. So I should be cranking out probably another 3 squads this weekend. I'm hoping.
Is the checkering on the hand free?
All free-handed.
Oh my.
Yeah. Because I have a picture of these guys. This is the actual squad, and then there's the patterns I put on the Power Fist.
Dang.
Yeah. Now that is a decal.
Right.
But that's free-handed.
Right.
And this is all free-handed.
Very nice.
So, yeah.
Now, how is this a GW versus Army Painter?
It's not.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if this was. Okay.
This is.
All right. Oh, wait. These look great, Jeff. And these are new or old models.
Those are new models. Those are the new Terminators for the Deathwing.
All right. So you got 2 Space Marines.
I have 2 jump pack intercessors.
All right.
That I built. They were both the sergeant from the squad, and I built and equipped them identically.
Okay.
One of the things that I discovered when I painted that one Space Wolf I had last week is that I painted white spirits for so long I had to kind of re-educate myself
Sure.
on how I paint my Space Wolves. However, I came across in the Army Painter Academy, they had a step-by-step using Army Painter paints to paint a Space Wolf.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically paint these two models. One of them using 100% Army Painter,
Okay.
and one of them using 100% GW.
All right.
And then take a picture of every stage. Hang on a minute. This is the first stage. I have base coated them in the Fang and in the Iron Wolf color from Army Painter.
All right. Is it like a speed paint?
No, this is all regular. No speed paints.
Okay. Well, it's got to be the light. I'm just seeing a lot of white edging, and it's just got to be your light.
It's just reflection of the light.
Okay.
Yeah, they are just solid base colored. Because I'm not done yet. This is only step one.
Okay.
This is my base coat.
All right.
Now I'm going to go over the base coat today. I'm going to put some zenithal highlighting on it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to start layering the colors for my GW model and the colors for my Army Painter model using those colors.
We already see one of the big color differences.
Yes, one of them is the Fang, and one of them is Iron Wolf.
Yeah,
which is the base coat for now. That is the Iron Wolf is an airbrush paint from Fanatic, and the Fang has an airbrush paint, but also a brush on paint. But I airbrush both those bases on.
But one's got a bluish, greenish tone, and one has a purplish tone.
Yeah, well, I think that's the lighting on the picture, but one of them. They're dramatically different in a way, but they're both still kind of a bluish steel gray.
So then it's the picture or it's my monitor that's giving me.
And I've got marked on the bottom of each base, which is which, just because on the underneath side. And so I'm going to then next step is zenithal, and after every step, I'm going to take this picture again.
Okay.
And then go through and paint them from start to finish. One completely with GW, one completely with Army Painter, and then just kind of see which one I like better. Because I am switching most of my commission stuff and most of my regular painting over to Army Painter. Okay. I have GW paints and I will still use them because there's a lot of go-to colors. And I usually use a mix of both depending on whatever color I need. But I thought it would just be fun to take this little step and paint them in the style that I paint my Space Wolves. But using the colors, because I've got 4 colors from each line that will finish the actual armor color.
Okay.
And then I'll use the brown for the leathers and stuff from each appropriate one, and just kind of see where it ends up. And then I'll post them when they're finished, not telling anybody which is which, and just basically say, hey, if you prefer the one on the left, give me a thumbs up. If you prefer the one on the right, give me a love, and that way I can keep track of which one people like. And just see how it pans out.
Well, in most Space Marines in general, the majority of the color is the armor. So, like if you're using the Army Painter on one and the GW paint on the other one, we should be able to, like, that's what's going to tell. All the other stuff, the leather and all that, browns are browns and all that kind of stuff. Right. So it'll be interesting to see. I guess Heron's saying he's seeing a little bit of that color difference too. So. Yeah,
there's definitely color difference, but I'm gonna this pick is gonna be like this is bare plastic. This is the base coat. Then I'll have one with the zenithal highlighting. Then I'll have one with the first layer of the actual base coat color, which for the Space Marine for the GW side will be rust gray.
Okay, and
for the Army Painter side it'll be wolf gray.
It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see this. I'm digging it.
I just thought it'd be something fun to do.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna take all these pictures and try to keep them as close to that pose as I can, and do a reel where it just flashes through all of them all the way from start to finish.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I thought that would be fun. But that's what I'm working on now. So
I love it. Love it. Love it.
And again, it's going to be a long process because, like I said, I work on them. Maybe an hour to 2 hours a day, and I've got not just that, but I've also got my my 500 point squat and my 500 point Marine list I want to do as
well. Well, don't get too excited about those yet. I got to pull out my Orc army.
Well, I haven't even pulled the models out yet, so I'm right there with you. I haven't done any of that yet. So it's just on my list of things I want to get done. So.
Rex is asking what games are people playing this weekend. Looks like he has a boatload of games going on. He's doing the Arkham Horror card game, which is awesome. Pathfinder Adventure card game, Magic the Gathering, Lord of the Rings, Flesh and Blood, Sorcery. Oh my gosh, a lot of card games going on this weekend.
Yeah.
Arkham Horror card game. I haven't played that one. Pathfinder Adventure game. I have a new one and the old one for that. I have some Lord of the Rings Magic stuff. Flesh and Blood never played, and I have some Sorcery cards, but very cool stuff. But I'm not playing anything this weekend. I'm reading this weekend. This is a reading weekend because now I'm going to pull out Rogue Trader. Read Rogue Trader.
I'm hoping I can get some legs on this. But if nothing else, it would be a fun project for us to do here. And you guys can join in as well and post them in the Discord, and we'll show them each week. So
what's David playing? I'm going to play Screening Officer for 3 hours tonight. Oh wait, that's work. Oh, that's funny. I'm going to not play Screening Officer. You should have wrote that Screaming Officer.
Yeah, and then the other project I got going on is sitting and waiting for my actual Space Wolf box set to be released.
Well, you're going to be Kermit the Frog looking at the window with the raindrops falling down for quite some time.
I've already contacted, of course, Darren.
Right.
Alpha Omega have said I want to try to get 2 boxes. I'll probably pick one up from Darren, and one up from Alpha Omega, and
I guess it just depends on how they release it, how many stores are allotted, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Right now, best guess is July. So.
Yeah, I would lean. I would like to think that this is a popular enough army that they would make sure that they have plenty of this to go around. Mandatory overtime.
Mandatory overtime.
You can't. I'm allergic to overtime. I tell my boss, everybody in the police department loves to work overtime. I'm like, you guys are all fools. Why? Go home and enjoy your life and actually do something with your life. I hate and mandatory overtime. Because I get stuck with mandatory overtime, and I'm like, I'm allergic to this, right? I suffer from outbreaks of rage and upset when I'm forced to work overtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a whole other conversation, whole other show.
Yes. Anyways.
Yeah. So
but it'll be. I would like to think that GW would have enough of that. To me, that is a good army release. I think there's going to be a lot of people.
Yeah, I think there will be. But I want to get 2 of them. That'll give me enough to get me started, and I'll be a happy camper. So.
Yeah. Well, that's good. If you got 2 box sets, that's going to be all.
Yeah. Well, I'm figuring between 220 and 230. That's kind of been where the ballpark they've come in at.
No, there's a lot of models.
Yeah.
Now, and they haven't announced a box set yet, so you don't know what's new, what's old.
Well, no, they have. The box set's all announced. Yeah, everything they showed on the preview. You have a squad of Blood Claws, a squad of Grey Hunters, a Wolf Priest, the Wolf Guard Battle Leader, and the Head Takers.
Okay.
And the Fenris Wolves, and a limited codex.
So it's all the cool stuff.
It's all the cool stuff. They have a standard army launch box.
Yeah.
And that's all done. I even got the cover on my computer at work. On my background, the image is the cover of the new codex.
Oh, let's hope they print it right.
I've gotten used to that. I'm just going to go with that's not going to be.
You just expect it to be wrong.
Yeah.
It'll just be a whole page.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Remember, the tariffs might kick in 90 days. I don't think the tariffs are going to affect GW.
I don't know. I don't talk about that. It's too serious.
Yeah. I don't know.
It makes my brain hurt.
It does. It makes everything hurt.
It makes my brain hurt.
It makes my wallet cry.
We will move on.
Yeah. Anywho, so next weekend we're not here.
Right.
So that gives everyone a free weekend to catch up on some painting projects and post some pictures on the Discord channel.
Yep.
So that we can show them off on the channel. And then you and I are going to probably have to talk about this Rogue Trader thing, because I think that would be just a fun project. I think
it'll be great. I think it would be absolutely good.
Yeah. Plus, I'm also renovating. I'm cleaning up my space.
Well, that'll prompt me. Now I've got a 5-day weekend because I normally have a 4-day weekend, but I got Monday off now for Easter as well. So I may take I may take tomorrow since I'm going to my daughter's house for Easter dinner, or
Okay.
Easter brunch, whatever, midday. I may in the morning rather than painting, I may clean up this room and actually get ready to do that project just so I can get it done that
Yeah, I'm like the space behind me is getting cleared out.
way.
Because I don't, it just ends up being a junk pile.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, I got to get rid of this. So
Yeah.
that's getting cleared out. I cleared out some other stuff and I want to kind of situate just to bring myself back into a little bit of Zen like feeling.
I am in a disorganized mess right now.
Chaos.
It is absolute chaos.
Well, that's like my right here on my desk is like probably 50 paints because painting all these character models, I'm like just grabbing paint and going and grabbing paint and going, and I'm not putting paint away. I want to put it all away. I want to dust everything. And
Yep. No, I may do that. I may do that tomorrow morning before I go to my daughter's house, and then come home tomorrow night and paint. So.
All right. I'm looking forward to this.
Awesome.
I'm just looking forward to reading the old Road Trader book. It's like I bought it. Was it at Adepticon or were we at LVO? I forget.
I think we were LVO.
Yeah, because I think we both bought it at the same time.
Yeah, we did.
And
then maybe you and I can get together between now and 2 weeks from now when we have our next show, and we can actually kind of put together a plan on the Road Trader paint event.
Road Trader paint event. Yes.
Yes.
Now I get to go dig through. Like, I don't know if people know this about me. I have a few orc models laying around.
Just a tiny bit.
One or two. I actually have a bits box that is full of orc models. So
my curiosity though is, do you have more orc models than you at one point owned Hot Wheels?
I probably have more orc models.
I would think so.
Well, if you're counting,
you got a ton of Hot Wheels, or you had a ton of Hot Wheels.
No, I still have a ton of Hot Wheels. But if you're counting fantasy, I have more orcs.
There you go.
Dusting is never ending project in here. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And no matter what you do to seal your house up, you call it weathering.
Yeah. Well, I'm getting ready to. I'm going to a StoreCon this year, which is it's a 40-minute drive from my house. But I'm actually renting one of the flea market tables, and I'm divulging myself of all the. I'm going to sell off all the old stuff I don't need anymore.
Well, are you clearing out everything?
Anything I haven't touched in the land, anything I haven't done anything with since I moved back to Maryland is going.
Boy, yeah. I couldn't do that.
Okay. I'm talking about it now. Executing that is an entire different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes.
David's talking. He doesn't have enough models from pre-30. It doesn't. We're not talking about doing the original.
We use modern models that just came out because a Marine is a Marine is a Marine.
Yeah.
You know.
I guess if you wanted to be a little retro, you could use like older, like not original Marines, but like the old squatty.
Yeah. Like, I don't like. There are some models, like for example, the Inceptors. And those kind of things, like heavy intercessors, you can't really use those. They could represent, but you can use standard Primaris tactical Marines as a squad of Marines. You can use standard orcs. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. Just basic stuff.
Mark's poking fun at me. You would think he would have more orcs done by now. Nope. No.
It's easier to buy them than to paint them.
Minor collector's editions. I still have. We're gonna go back to Tuesday. Do you remember when a new army would come out back in the day, and they would put out the first? But it didn't have rule books and stuff like they do today. It was just all full of models.
Right.
What do you call them? Spearhead boxes?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, I still have the orc one for 40K that came with the new truck and the squig bombas, and so it was a mixture of plastic and metal. And I'm just like. And I've still got it wrapped in the cellophane. It is a collector's edition now. Oh, he's a mini since you have. Yeah.
I have OG miniatures. I've still got the old. You remember the old big blister box, plastic blister box that had a 10-man squad in it with this heavy plastic.
Okay.
And I still have an assault squad like that. I mean, if I really wanted to, I could use those. So,
yeah. I like the idea of using modern miniatures because
whatever you have available. That's the point I'm trying to make. If you got them, use them. If you don't worry about it. Just paint up some normal stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think
it's gonna be fun.
Be a little bit a good time. Good time. So
I think so.
I'm excited about this. So we'll chat, but this will motivate me to, well, first of all, finish this project, clean up my desk, clean up my space, clean up my mind, unclutter my mind. Because I come in here sometimes and I just feel like
I do that. Yeah. My whole apartment's like that right now because I'm waiting for maintenance to come and fix my leaky garbage disposal. So I've got all my stuff, my cleaning supplies from under my bathroom or my kitchen sink on the counter, and I've my kitchen table is just piled with stuff because I got no place to put it right now because of all the mess that's going on. So my entire apartment's kind of a disorganized mess. So, but I'm going to start with this room and work my way out.
There you go. Rex is talking about how it's 15 millimeter. Yeah. Well, I think you're probably thinking War Master because that was their small scale game.
Yeah, and they were 18. They were, I think, more 6 millimeter.
6
or 8 millimeter.
Yeah, I forget the scaling, but they're cool.
Yeah, but they're still cool.
Yeah, I love them. They're like the strips of models.
But yeah, don't worry about having retro models back to first edition because that would be asking too much. If you have them, great. If you don't, just use regular models. Because a Marine is a Marine is a Marine. Yeah. So.
Use fantasy models. We don't care.
Yeah, just whatever.
And that's why I think Rogue Trader works because you could use
back in the day. You could. Yeah, it was like that. So.
Yeah, it didn't. They weren't all sci-fi. Well, they were sci-fi, but like some of them just had primitive, like just axes and swords and stuff like that. So very cool. Yep. All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and cut out of here. Just remember, everybody, next week we're not here. I will be antiquing, as we call it.
We will be back on May 3rd.
Yes. May 3rd. And don't forget, everybody, May's my birthday. So the whole month I get birthday presents.
Yay, birthday presents. Yeah, I got to figure out I'm going to get you.
We're all glad to be able to stream. Happy Easter to you as well.
Yes. Everybody have a great Easter.
I'm actually making the potato salad tonight. That way it can sit overnight in the fridge and all the stuff can marinate together because I make my own country potato salad.
That'd be awesome.
And then Andy's baking a ham and beans, and I got to work tomorrow. Anyways, all right, everybody, we're out here. We're back in a couple weeks.
In 2 weeks.
Get some pictures taken, and if you have the Rogue Trader book, take a read through it, get familiar with it, and I think we're on to something here.
Yeah, very fun.
All right, everybody, we're out.
All right, bye-bye.